And welcome back to Littles by Lira. Today we're going to make a miniature lantern and a snowman. Both are super cute and I hope you enjoy. To begin, you're going to want to find one of these candles from the Dollar Tree and remove the twine and label. Next, I took a saucepan, put some water into it, and put a folded up washcloth in there, and then put the candle on top of the washcloth. I turned my stove on to simmer and I just let it go so that my candle wax could melt. While I was waiting for the candle wax to melt, I have this pepper grinder that I found at the Dollar Tree, and lo and behold, it fits perfectly for what we want to use it for. So first I begin by taking the plastic packaging off of it, and then I grab a skewer, also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to run that skewer through the plastic container part of the pepper grinder. I wanted to make sure that I didn't break my stick or harm myself in any way, so I took a small screwdriver and just drilled into the sides of the container. Notice here that I did not remove the pepper. The reason is twofold. One, I couldn't figure out how to get the lid off, so, that's definitely a reason to not remove it. And second, it adds a little bit of weight to the lantern itself. It does become a little bit top heavy with that candle jar on top. So leaving the peppercorns inside, actually, it was a happy little accident. Once I got my holes drilled into the sides, I just took some black apple barrel acrylic paint and I painted the skewer and all the pieces of the pepper grinder. While that's drying, my wax had finally melted, so I just have an old candle jar here. I poured the wax in and wiped the inside of the candle jar out with a paper towel until I got all the wax residue out. Now, there are these little comb things at the Dollar Tree. They're hex shaped and they have a bunch of little bristles on the bottom. I decided this would be perfect, especially with that little handle up top for the top of my lantern. So I went ahead, cut off all those little pieces, the little, teeth, and now I'm giving the top a coat of black acrylic paint, again by Apple Barrel. Next, I took some gunmetal gray metallic paint from Folk Art, and I'm just going to dry brush over the entirety of the lantern just to give it some visual dimension. Since all of this is plastic, I took a little bit of Mod Podge and I am just going over all the paint to make sure that nothing chips off. Next, I have a couple of the little wooden balls. I got these from Amazon. They're the smallest one in the 500 package for like $6. And I'm just adhering those to the sides of the skewers and painting those black as well so that everything has this nice cohesive look to it. Next, taking a little bit of Fix-All adhesive. I'm just going to run a circle around the top, and then I'm going to put a bead around the outside edge of hot glue so that I can adhere the cap of the pepper shaker upside down. This is going to make a nice little cup to hold my Dollar Tree tea light, as shown here. Today is an allergy day, guys. Surprise, I know, you can't hardly believe it. So, apologies for sniffling. Next, having the opening of the candle jar facing down, I am running some hot glue and Fix-All adhesive to the bottom, what is now the top of the candle jar, and I'm going to adhere that hex piece to the top. And surprisingly, it stuck really well between the hot glue and the Fix-All. I've actually lifted the whole aperture up by the handle and nothing's fallen off. Now, don't go like crazy or anything and start swinging it around, banging it on things. I didn't try that. I don't know if it'll hold up to that or not. Next, you see here that I have just a little sprig of greenery. I actually cut this off of the bottom part of one of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees, but any kind of greenery you have will work just fine. I wanted to make the size appropriate for the miniature stature of the lantern, so I trimmed down the bristles, the green pokey parts of the tree branch and just rolled it into a circle using my using my Mod Podge container as a form. Next, I grabbed my super duper amazing bow and tassel jig, and I'm just going to make a little tiny red bow for my wreath. As you can see here, super easy. I highly recommend you checking back a few episodes and learn how to make one of these for your own. I have never had such an easy time making bows or tassels in my entire life until I began using this little bit of ingenuity. You know, no big egos over here, guys. It makes me very happy that I was able to make something that even if nobody else in the world likes it, I really do. It works really, really well. So once I have my bow into the order or shape that I like it, I just trim off the extra tails of the ribbon. I'm going to make sure that, it's even on both sides and trim down those long tails just to make sure that everything looks, visually pleasing to my eyes. You do this however works best for you and what you think is pretty. After I got my bow finished, I took a little drop of hot glue and just pushed it directly onto the wreath. And it holds great. The wreath is plastic and the bow is nylon, so that hot glue is just perfect to keep these guys together for the long haul. Next, you see here that I am just taking a little bit more hot glue, and I'm going to attach the wreath to the portion between the two skewers so that it'll sit nice and flush and look all Christmassy. Then, taking a little bit of hot glue around the neck where the actual grinder is. This is the bottom of the lantern. I've got a little bit more of that red thin ribbon, and I'm just going to run it around to give a little break to the eye. All this black is just very dark, and I think it needed a pop of color. So I wrapped it around, a little bit of hot glue, trimmed off the edge, and voila, there we go. Now you can use a little bit of hot glue or Fix-All or E6000 if you want to make sure that the bottom part doesn't twist anymore, but I'm not really noticing it having any kind of issue, so there is that. Next, I have that little Dollar Tree tea light and put it all together, and I just think it turned out super cute. What do you think? Next, we're going to make a snowman. Using some Fusion all-in-one matte spray paint, I took one of these Dollar Tree eyeballs. You could also use a ping pong ball outside. And I stuck it on a skewer and spray painted it white until I could no longer see the eyeball staring back at me. Then, taking some of these Dollar Tree gemstones, I'm painting a few of them black so that I can have my coal eyes and my little coal mouth. Once those are set off to the side to dry, I grab just a little toothpick and I paint the tip of that pumpkin orange, also from Apple Barrel. It is a craft paint. Then I just have my little styrofoam block that I stick the toothpick into until the orange paint dries. Now I have some Epsom salt and I have a Dollar Tree salt shaker. And this is the kind with the silver lid. I don't know what happened to my lid. It's missing in action, so take my word for it, please. This is a Dollar Tree salt shaker. I filled the inside up with some Epsom salt because it does have that nice, crystalline, glittery effect without actual glitter. You can add glitter to it. You can also not fill it up super full and put one of the little Dollar Tree Christmas figures that come out every year at Christmas time. They're supposed to be with the little holiday houses. You can put one of those inside if you like. Sky's the limit. You do you, boo. So once that's taken care of, I take a little bit of Fix-All and my hot glue gun, and I just run a bead around the top edge to secure my snowman's face. Keep in mind there is some raised writing on the ping pong balls and on the little eyeballs, so try to have that to the back or underneath where the actual Epsom salt is poured into. That way you won't see it and it won't mess up the face of your snowman. That being said, I pull off the black gemstones that I painted. I like the shape that they have. It's kind of a rock shape, and I just adhered those to the face, giving them a little smile and some eyes. I want to take a moment real quick and thank all of you who are watching. Thank you for showing up and hopefully enjoying this video. I had a good time putting it together for you. And I hope that you stick around. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification. YouTube may or may not tell you when I'm posting. But, Littles by Lira. Come visit me whenever. I'm trying to get at least 2 videos out per week. Okay, so here's our little snowman put together. I have this black and red gingham checked ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I decided that he needs a little scarf to cover up those little threads of the salt shaker, and so I just wrap it around his little neck and hot glue it into place. You'll see here in a moment that I'm going to take a red gemstone from that gemstone sheet. If I didn't mention it, that's also from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to use it as a little red shiny button for the front of his scarf. Just a little bit of extra visual texture. Here you see, I am hot gluing the ribbon around those threads just to make sure that it doesn't slip around and get all weird. So, guys, while we're looking at this, anybody have anything specific they'd like to see for Christmas decor? Because my house flooded out a couple years ago and I lost all my decorations. I'm kind of just, dabbling in a little bit of everything, which is why you've seen the retro and now the black and white and red and all the things. So I think next week we're going to do nautical so I can try and find some form of Christmas decor that I really like. So if there's anything you guys want to see or any suggestions you have, hey, throw them out in the comments. I'd love to hear them because I'm completely ornamentless and it's killing me. I'll probably end up buying a box of ornaments from Walmart and just doing burgundy. I have a farm style house because it's, farm country here. And so, the burgundy and the, dark green Christmas tree, because I got one of those on clearance last year in the hopes that I would have been home in time for Christmas, but wasn't. It's neither here nor there. I digress. Let's get back to my snowman. But before that, if you have any ideas, drop me a comment. That'd be great. So once I got this little guy all squared away, I found this little package of hats from Walmart, and they're super cute. And I thought, why not take one of those little hats and make that into a top hat for the snowman? So I pulled it apart, and the little clip part, it's in there good, so be ready to fight with it a bit. But once you get it out, everything is really quick, smooth sailing from there on out. I disassembled the hat, taking the brim off of the, I don't know, the stove pipe portion. I took it all apart. There is styrofoam on the inside, so I scraped some of that out so it would sit flush against the snowman's head. And then I took the brim part and cut a circle in the middle so that it actually does kind of resemble a hat when you take it apart. This is so that it's not just a flat thing sitting on top of a curved object. I wanted to make it, nestle down on there nice and tight. You can make your hole bigger or smaller depending on the amount of snowman face you want to show, or, how far down on his little head you want the hat to go. So, again, more options. It's all up to you. Also, I had to peel the, what do you call it? The fabric that's, buffalo checked away from the top and bottom of the brim of the hat, so that I could cut circles into that too. Because obviously, why would you cut a hole in the middle and then just cover that back up? That would be silly. You might as well just leave it alone. Unless you like that look and didn't want to mess with it, and you just want to have it glued directly to his head. But again, this is what I'm doing. So I peeled those little pieces apart. I cut a circle into the cardboard of the brim of the hat. Then I cut little circles trying to match the size of the circle that I cut into the brim of the hat, and glued those back into place. When all that was said and done, I went ahead and I glued the hat portion back onto the brim and wrapped the red ribbon that I used when we made the lantern just around the top to pull the red scarf to sort of match with the white and black checked hat. I think he looks cute. What do you guys think? While we finish up here, I'm just going to let you listen to some music, and I'll meet you back here in a couple and say my goodbyes, and yeah, have fun. And that does it for me. I hope you enjoyed today's crafts, and I will see you soon. Bye.